Strategy 5. The strategy of praise and reward. Welcome back to the Heavenly Secrets Unveiled channel. Today we will explore the next strategy in the collection of 36 Harmonious strategies, a treasure trove of ancient wisdom containing profound lessons and techniques for navigating interactions and communication in life. In the previous video, we discussed the fourth strategy, the strategy of flanking attack, a skillful communication tactic that conveys messages subtly without hurting others. Now we will continue to explore the fifth strategy called the strategy of praise and reward. The strategy of praise and reward is a tactic that leverages honor and reputation to win people's hearts, maintain good relationships, and foster cooperation. How to gain people's hearts with the least cost. People value reputation above all else. To preserve their honor, some may exhaust their wealth, and harming someone's reputation can breed deep resentment. Conversely, granting honor can inspire others to devote themselves to you, even to the point of sacrifice, as a scholar might die for a true confidant. Those who disregard the importance of reputation cannot respect the honor of others, nor will anyone grant them such respect in return. Granting honor is a technique often employed by leaders. It is not only superiors who can bestow honor on others. Honor is tied to status. A superior can confer a certain status upon a subordinate. Once this status is established, there is no need to grovel or beg. A mere suggestion can make those indebted to you feel compelled to act. We must prioritize preserving honor, which is why we should avoid becoming too familiar with others. Excessive familiarity can lead to disrespect, causing leaders to lose their air of mystery and exposing their flaws. The most challenging aspect of maintaining honor is striking a balance between authority and approachability. This is described as too distant and loyalty wanes, too close and respect diminishes. First, we must understand that a scholar dies for a true confidant. There was a man whose story left an unforgettable impression. In our family's residential complex, there was an elderly gatekeeper, a lonely man with no family. Everyone was cheerful around him, and some called him Baldy. He would immediately turn around, flashing a toothless grin that showed his gums. My 8-year-old child followed our lead, calling him Grandpa Baldy, and he would smile just the same. Suddenly one day the old man fell ill and could no longer get up. As he neared his final moments, everyone gathered around his bedside. They recalled how he had guarded the gate of our complex for years, how many times they had woken him in the middle of the night to open the gate, asked him to watch their children, or deliver a message. Because of this, everyone regarded him as a father figure. Some even took out paper and pen, preparing to record his last will. Gasping for breath, he shook his head vigorously. Those standing around him shed tears. Finally, he whispered hoarsely, "If there's a memorial, don't forget." He couldn't finish as tears welled up. They handed him paper and pen, and with trembling hands, he scrawled 5 large characters, "I am Zhang Changsheng." The pen fell and he passed away. Even in his final moments, he clung to his name, his reputation. People live for honor, sometimes forsaking profit or even their lives. Understanding this key principle ensures success in managing human relationship. Touching someone's honor can provoke anger, but granting them honor can inspire them to sacrifice for you. This is what is meant by a scholar dies for a true confidant, and a maiden adorns herself for her beloved. Once, Duke Wei of Wei and Duke Huan of Qi went hunting together. Duke Wei asked, "Does Qi have any treasures?" Duke Huan replied, "None." Duke Wei, feeling smug, boasted, "Though my way is small, we have a pearl 1 inch in diameter that illuminates 12 chariots in front and behind. We have 10 such pearls. Surely a great state like Qi has treasures." Duke Huan calmly responded, My standard for treasures differs from yours. I have a minister named Qian Fu. When I sent him to govern Suzhou, the people of Yan built a shrine to pray for blessings at the northern gate, and the people of Zhao built an altar at the eastern gate. Over 7,000 households migrated to pledge allegiance to Qi. I have another minister, Zhong Shu, who oversees public security, and under his watch, lost items on the streets go unclaimed. The talent and virtue of these 4 ministers shine for 1,000 miles, not merely 12 chariots. This response left Duke Wei speechless with embarrassment, while simultaneously praising his own vassals. Through such methods of bestowing praise, Duke Huan masterfully won the hearts of his people, earning the unwavering loyalty of outstanding talents like Tianji Sun Junfu and Yu Deng, who willingly devoted themselves to him. As a result, Qi achieved great prosperity and became a dominant force, with all surrounding states paying homage. In modern society, this approach remains practical because human nature dictates that people crave recognition and affirmation from others and society. If we sincerely praise and care for others, genuinely appreciating and acknowledging them generously, it creates a psychological effect of gratitude and motivates them. They may even see us as true confidants willing to repay us with the devotion of a scholar dying for a friend. For Chinese people, dignity is often tied to the concept of honor. Failing to grant honor or lacking it can lead to anger and conflict. Some even fight to the death over honor. During weddings, people may claim simplicity, but on the other hand, they demand lavish banquets that bankrupt them, fearing others won't notice or attend. All of this is tied to honor, to reputation. Though they may inwardly lament, their faces always display joy. Next, let's explore the ingenious strategy of taking photos with subordinates. In 1907, Chiang Kai-shek went to Japan to study military affairs at the Shimbugakko Academy, not long after his fellow townsman Chen Qimei introduced him to the Tongmenghui Revolutionary Alliance. During this time, Chiang sent a photo to his cousin inscribed with a poem, "The world is filled with the aura of war. Without strength, all efforts are in vain. I bring my youthful vigor to Shenzhou, aspiring to achieve great deeds." Though simple, the poem revealed the young Chiang Kai-shek's fervent patriotism, expressing his ambitions and aspirations. Later, as Chiang's status rose, his use of photographs became more strategic. Before the northern expedition, Chiang aimed to become a renowned figure, seeking to dominate the world and build a grand legacy. In the spring of 1926, Xiao Lizi, under orders from the Kuomintang Central Committee in Guangzhou, went to Shanghai to connect with journalists and promote the Kuomintang's agenda. Seizing the opportunity, Chiang entrusted Xiao with delivering a signed photo to Chen Bulai, along with greetings to this prominent journalist. Chen Bulai was the chief editor of the Shanghai Commercial Press, a brilliant and eloquent writer whose editorials and commentaries were renowned in Shanghai's journalistic circles. He had previously been accused by Shanghai's foreign concession authorities for his radical writings due to his political ties with Sun Yat-sen's Kuomintang in Guangzhou, which only amplified his fame. Chiang admired Chen not only for his courage and talent, but also because they hailed from the same Zhejiang province, prompting the gift of the photo. During a press reception in Shanghai, Chen Bulai received Chiang's photo through Xiao Lizi, marking the first time he saw Chiang's face and understood his intentions. Later, Chen was invited to meet Chiang, and by the end of that year, he traveled to Nanchang to meet the commander-in-chief of the National Revolutionary Army. From then on, Chen followed Chiang for over 20 years, until his suicide in 1968. Their bond began with a single photograph. Chiang Kai-shek built his career through the Whampoa Military Academy, where he served as principal. Understanding the importance of maintaining ties between principal and students, he never missed an opportunity to nurture and win over his students. Gifting photos was a small but significant part of this effort. During the War of Resistance against Japan, Chiang established the Central Training Corps at Fuduguan, personally serving as its director and organizing training sessions with a focus on party and political education. Beyond military training, the curriculum emphasized political instruction, particularly the contemporary situation of the anti-Japanese war and the Kuomintang's central policies, with loyalty to the leader as the core principle. The most significant event at the end of each training session was Chiang taking photos with the participants. After group photos, he met with groups of 10 for about 15 minutes, taking individual group photos. On occasion, he gifted each trainee a signed photo inscribed with "To my comrade X signed Chiang Chung-cheng" and stamped with his seal. These photos made trainees feel a deep connection, proudly displaying them as disciples of the Son of Heaven and reinforcing their loyalty to the leader. After the anti-Japanese war, Chiang adopted a lenient policy toward Hanjian Chinese collaborators, with the Japanese seeking to win them over to bolster his forces against the communists. In the spring of 1946, Chiang and Song Meiling conducted an inspection tour, summoning over 20 senior Kuomintang generals in northern Henan, including former collaborators like Pang Bingshun and Sun Dianying. In addition to hosting banquets, Chiang organized group photos and sat for individual photos with each general to show his favor. Pang Bingshun and Sun Dianying were overjoyed, enlarging their photos with Chiang and distributing them to subordinates, friends and relatives to boast. They understood that Chiang's actions signaled he would not hold their past against them, allowing them to fight the communists with confidence. This was precisely Chiang's aim, and his strategy proved highly successful. For someone in a high position, winning over subordinates can be as simple as this. Some individuals of lower status feel immense pride when acknowledged by a prominent figure, as it enhances their sense of honor and self-worth. This gratitude drives them to pledge unwavering loyalty to the leader. Chiang understood that with his status, granting honor to subordinates could effectively win their allegiance. Should today's leaders and bosses also frequently take photos with their subordinates? The next part of the strategy of praise and reward: binding with softness. Meng Huo was a leader of the ethnic minorities in the Nanzhong region during the Three Kingdoms period, a highly influential figure locally. Meng Huo allied with Zhu Bao Yongxiao and Gao Ding, appointing Yongxiao as the commander. Seizing the opportunity when Shu was weakened by its defeat to Wu and the death of Liu Beimong, Huo incited the ethnic minorities to rebel, killing Shu officials stationed in the area and openly launching an armed uprising. Historically, Nanzhong was a region of diverse ethnic groups. During the Three Kingdoms period, it was home to many minorities, such as the ancestors of today's Yizhuang-Tai and Dulong peoples. During the Han Dynasty, these groups were collectively referred to as the Southwestern Barbarians. They coexisted with the Han Chinese, working together to develop China's frontier, making significant contributions to its economic and cultural growth. Meng Huo's rebellion disrupted the peaceful coexistence of these ethnic groups and posed a severe threat to the Shu Han regime, hindering Zhuge Liang's plans to advance into the Central Plains. To protect Shu Zhuge, Liang prepared and in 225 divided his forces into three prongs to attack Nanzhong. Before setting out, Zhuge Liang adopted the advice of his advisor Ma Jun, emphasizing that the goal of this campaign was not to slaughter the rebels or seize their strongholds, but to win over local leaders, making them willingly submit to Shu Han's rule and cease rebellion. This was called winning hearts as the primary goal, capturing cities as secondary. Shortly after Zhuge Liang's campaign began, the rebel forces in Nanzhong fractured internally. Yongxiao was killed by his own subordinates, and Meng Huo became the commander. Zhuge Liang then defeated Gao Ding and crushed Zhu Bao's army. In May of that year, Zhuge Liang led his troops across the Lu River to pursue Meng Huo. Given Meng Huo's considerable influence among the local ethnic minorities, and Han Chinese Zhuge Liang deliberately chose not to kill him, but to capture him alive. When Meng Huo saw the Shu army approaching, he led his forces to confront them. Shu General Wang Ping engaged Meng Huo in battle before retreating. Meng Huo pursued along the mountain paths, only to be ambushed by Shu forces from both flanks. Defeated, he fled, but the Shu army chased and captured him alive. The soldiers escorted Meng Huo to Zhuge Liang's headquarters. Zhuge Liang asked, "We have treated you fairly. Why did you rebel against the court? Now that you've been captured, do you have anything to say?" He then personally led Meng Huo to tour the Shu military camp, asking, "What do you think of our army?" Meng Huo observed the orderly camp, disciplined soldiers and high morale, secretly impressed but unwilling to submit. He said, "I wasn't defeated, I simply didn't know your tactics and fell into your ambush. Now that I've seen your army, it's merely average. If we fought again, we could win." Zhuge Liang smiled and said, "If that's the case, I'll release you. Reorganize your forces and we'll fight again." He then hosted a banquet for Meng Huo before setting him free. After returning, Meng Huo fought Zhuge Liang 7 times, each time being captured. In the final encounter, Zhuge Liang cornered Meng Huo's army in a mountain pass, blocking their retreat and setting the mountain ablaze. Flames roared and soldiers cried out in chaos. Meng Huo was captured for the 7th time and brought to Shu's headquarters. The soldiers relayed Zhuge Liang's orders. The prime minister no longer wished to see Meng Huo and commanded his release to reorganize his forces for another battle. After deep reflection, Meng Huo said, 7 captures, 7 releases, this is unprecedented. The Prime Minister has preserved my honor. Though I lack formal education, I understand human decency. How could I not respect the Prime Minister? He knelt, weeping, and declared, "With your grace and might, we will never rebel again." Overjoyed, Zhuge Liang helped Meng Huo to his feet, invited him into the tent, hosted a banquet, and escorted him out of the camp to return home. This demonstrates that dealing with stubborn opponents doesn't always require harsh measures or brute force. Even if such methods subdue them, they may not win their hearts. Zhuge Liang's approach was the ultimate strategy. Meng Huo, having lost all honor after 7 defeats, could have been executed at Zhuge Liang's whim. Yet Zhuge Liang not only spared him, but treated him with the respect of an honored guest, preserving his dignity. Zhuge Liang's conduct was exemplary. Moreover, granting honor is something the greater does for the lesser, the superior for the subordinate, the strong for the weak. Without a formidable army and clever strategies, Zhuge Liang could not have afforded such magnanimity as 7 captures, 7 releases. Thus one should not grant honor recklessly, lest it invite ridicule. The final aspect of the strategy of praise and reward, motivating the lazy to take on heavy responsibilities. A low-ranking employee habitually arrived late to work and left early. Despite the director's repeated sincere attempts to counsel him, and even after criticism and fines, he continued his ways. Finally, the director appointed him as the leader of a work team. Initially, the employee refused the role and others laughed, thinking the director was joking, but the director stood firm. Reluctantly, the employee accepted the position. Astonishingly, not only did he take charge of the team's tasks, but he also stopped coming late or leaving early. Moreover, his performance surpassed that of other team leaders. Assigning responsibility to someone can ignite their sense of pride and confidence, proving more effective than criticism or discipline. Every individual matters, and all they need is an opportunity. In enterprises, leaders must keep this in mind when planning or managing daily operations and reflect it in their actions. During the Western Wei period, the northern region of Yongzhou was plagued by bandits. The rugged mountains provided easy hideouts, making it impossible for the authorities to catch them. The regional governor Han Bao was deeply concerned and sent scouts to investigate. They discovered that the bandits were the sons of local, influential families. Pretending not to know their identities, Han Bao courteously invited these local leaders to a meeting. One day, he gathered them and earnestly said, "As a mere scholar, I lack the skills to catch bandits. I humbly ask for your help in resolving this issue." He then appointed the troublemaking sons of these families as officials, each responsible for a specific area. He declared that failing to apprehend bandits would be treated as intentional negligence. Frightened, the newly appointed young men confessed that they themselves were the bandits responsible for past crimes. These former bandits became proactive, turning in lists of their accomplices and revealing their hideouts. Han Bao took the lists, instructed the officials, and allowed them to return home. The next day, he posted a notice at the city gate offering amnesty to all bandits who surrendered within a month. Failure to comply would result in capture punishment and confiscation of their property. Within 10 days, every bandit surrendered, matching the lists exactly. Han Bao pardoned them, guiding them to reform. This strategy proved highly effective, and the bandits ceased their evil deeds. Even the most wicked individuals harbor a trace of pride and honor deep within. They commit evil acts because they've crossed societal taboos and are despised, causing them to suppress their pride and honor. When others scorn and condemn them, they sink deeper into wrongdoing. However, when entrusted with the task of overseeing wrongdoers praised and encouraged to reclaim their pride and honor, they not only take on the responsibility but also begin to act accountably, like ordinary people.